Yeah, I didn't know if you were hearing the feedback. I was hearing it, but I didn't know that you could hear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If any of your
Can you hear it?
electronics, if any of your electronics have the volume up, that's why you're getting, like if you have an iPad and an iPhone in the room.
Oh, that's probably why. I do have my iPad. It's on.
So turn down what you're not using completely
Okay,
down.
let me turn it off. Let me turn this off or put it in another room. Do you see me on Facebook?
Let's see. Nope. Now you're there.
Okay, you see me, great. It just says.
I'm seeing the old. I'm seeing the old you when you were doing it before.
Okay, so you don't see the new one.
Not yet.
Okay. 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 So you don't see us now?
Not yet.
Okay, I see us. We're there.
Okay, now I see you.
You see it, okay. All right, good. And guys, I'm sorry, a little technical difficulties here. So we've got the right one up and going. So thank you guys for being here. So do you see me speaking?
Yes.
Okay, thank you guys for being here. And I think what happened is that I actually hit play, and that's why we were getting the feedback. We look frozen. I look frozen here on my screen, but I can actually see myself moving around on Facebook. So long as it's working on Facebook, we're good. We're good. Okay, so let's get started. I want to introduce you to Janine Geneselli. I am so excited to introduce you to this young lady. I actually met Janine. It's really interesting how I met her. I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer about 2.5 years ago. And I was talking to a friend of mine, an associate of mine, and he sent me her information. Actually, it was a presentation that she was doing having to do with cancer. And I'll let her tell her own story. But really and truly, I'd gotten in late that night and I was really tired. I had an appointment with my oncologist the next day. And so I said, something just told me to get on to this event that she was doing. And I did. And when I did, I could not believe, the information that she was sharing. Just amazing, incredible energy. She's willing to share so freely and give so freely to so many people who either are suffering themselves in silence or, also have friends and family who are suffering, coworkers who are suffering. So I literally text her that night. It must have been like 11:30 that night, asking her for some information on a book that she had recommended, questions to ask her oncologist. And this young lady took the time this late at night, after pouring so much into everybody that night, to actually screenshot pictures from the book, emailed to me, and actually that night. So I was so happy because when I went to my oncologist appointment the next day and sat down to talk to to speak to my oncologist, she actually thought I was a nurse or in the medical field because she was shocked at the questions that I was asking her. She didn't really realize I was going to be so educated on so many topics. So as a result of having that conversation with her, the information she shared, and also really talking to me and helping me and assisting me in acquiring a Kangen water machine, from this amazing technology from Japan, and which she actually used herself, and she suggested that I used because obviously, it's really important to help your body along as much as you can. And of course, she explained to me, which I'll let her explain. I'm not going to get into any details, but it was such a blessing to me. So I wanted to share with you guys, all you know that I do have a CBD dispensary. I'm also a distributor for Enagic. I became a distributor. Obviously it just made sense because I owned the machine. But I'm not here to talk about me. I really want her to talk about this because right now with my CBD dispensary business, we're talking to everybody about the importance of using alkaline water in their cleansing and their regimen as they're going through the detox and the cleanse. So I really wanted to bring this to you guys so that you all could hear a little bit more, because just like I tell everybody, all CBD is not equal, neither is all alkaline water, okay? It absolutely isn't. So I want to turn this over to the star of the show, Ms. Janine Geneselli. She's a life coach. She's also a trainer for Enagic. So Ms. Janine, take it away.
Thank you, Erica, and thanks so much for having me today. It's such a pleasure to always see you. You're so energetic and upbeat, and I love your enthusiasm for what you do and what you share with others. But my story isn't unique, really, because a lot of people all over the world for the past 47 years have been drinking this water. But my story is such that I was very skeptical. I've been hearing about Kangen water for about 25 years, actually. People would try to get me to try it, and I'd say, nah, I'm not into water. I drink Mountain Dew and Dr. Pepper and sweet tea, and those are my drinks of choice. So I never wanted to try it. And I even had somebody staying in my home for a while that had a machine. She had it in her bathroom, and she'd say, want to try the water? I go, no, not interested. And then I got very, very sick in 2013. And a close friend of mine out in Los Angeles forced me to drink the water. Literally, I was staying at his house for a few weeks, and he would stand in front of me and make me drink these bottles of water. And I started, feeling better. I had more energy. I was sleeping through the night, which I hadn't done in many, many years. I was always a night owl. And, I couldn't believe that a water could make somebody feel so good, especially after just a few days and days later, I was getting, feeling better and better. And then my whole life changed. I mean, the things started changing for me as far as my skin and everything. And it just blew my mind away. And, he said, it's the water, it's the water. So I got one of the devices and saw that he was telling me the truth. And that was in 2013. And I've been drinking it ever since. This is the machine right here. And I love it. I drink it. I spray it on my face every day. I'm 60. I'll be 60 in March. And people say, you don't look 60. And I go, well, that's because of the water that I drink and spray. So I totally attribute it to that. And it's really a one-stop shop, actually. And I'd love to explain it to you how it works here. This is the device. It's 15 pounds. It can be taken on an airplane and a little overhead carrier. It's small enough. It goes right beside your sink. We do have units that are under the sink, but most people like the one on top because it is a conversation piece. When people come into your home, they go, what is that? Oh, well, I'd like to give you some of this special water. And then they say, sure, shoot me up. So anyway, the first three types of water that it makes is 8.5, 9.0, and 9.5. And you just touch a button. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but she speaks to you. And then the second type of water is clean water. And that water is used to take time-release medication, such as a pill that you would take for a headache or something that's time-released, and also to make baby formula. The third button is beauty water. And that's the water that I spray one of these entire bottles a day with on my face, on my skin. And it's amazing. It refreshes me. It makes me feel good. When I'm bored or driving and getting tired, I just spray my face and I perk right up. Strong acidic. This is 2.5 water, which is used to kill bacteria, MRSA, E. coli, salmonella, all types of germs on contact within 30 seconds. And then also pressing that button from the top hose, you get 11.5, which is used to take the pesticides off your fruits and vegetables. It's used to get the wax out of your ears. It's used for pain, all types of uses. And so when you purchase a device, you get a manual which tells you all the many uses to use it for cooking and cleaning and disinfecting. And it's really amazing. And so you can save so much money in your home by being non-toxic. You don't need laundry detergent. You don't need Glass Plus. You don't need Lysol wipes. You don't need Clorox. There's a lot of things that you can replace in your home with this one device right here. And so, as you know, Erica, you use yours all the time. It's an amazing device made and built in Osaka, Japan. And they've been making them for 47 years. And we've got millions of people all over the world that use it. They have it in their homes, their businesses. It's wonderful for restaurants, even car washes, because of the 11.5. It's a great stain remover. And you can get blood, urine, wine, anything out of different fabrics. And so a lot of the businesses use it for their customers. And I believe you have a video, which we can watch later on, with Bob Gridelli, which is one of the people that have been with the company for many, many years, and Pat Boone, who everybody knows. Pat's been drinking this water for almost 20 years now. And he's a big proponent of it. And he offered to make that video and said, hey, I don't want anything for making it. I just want to share this with people because this is amazing water. It's changed my life, and I'm happy to share it with others.
Okay, awesome. So you let me know when you're ready for me to play the video.
Okay. So Erica, I wanted to ask you, and in the years that you've had this device, what has it done for you that has made you believe in it and be so enthusiastic to want to share it on your Facebook page?
Well, basically, there are many features that I love. When you think about having a machine, right? A lot of people, I was buying bottled water quite a bit, and I was buying alkaline bottled water, and of course, I found out about it still being acidic because it's sitting in a bottle for a certain amount of time. But what it did for a couple of things that I loved. One, when I soaked my fruits and vegetables in that 11, is it the 11.5?
11.5.
And you are seeing the herbicides and pesticides, literally, you're seeing the yellow coming off of those fruits and vegetables. And then you taste those fruits and vegetables and they taste so much better. Like my daughter hates tomatoes. And I didn't realize the reason she didn't like tomatoes was because she was actually tasting the bitterness of the whatever it is that they spray on these vegetables. Once I did that and tell her to taste the tomatoes, she's like, oh my gosh, Mom, they're sweet. And I said, wow. I mean, I was completely blown away at the difference because for me, my daughter was getting sick. And I didn't really know why her stomach was hurting. And I didn't realize it was really the water. I was actually using a Brita filter system, to be honest with you. So that was my first introduction into drinking the water from Enagic. The other thing I loved about it is, I'm going to tell you, I had a stain on my Lazy Boy. And that stain, I tried all kinds of sprays that you buy to remove the stain, and it would not come out. I used, what is it, the 2.5 or 11.5? I keep getting mixed up.
11.5.
Okay, the 11.5, I sprayed it on there. And basically, the stain was gone. I couldn't believe it. I called my daughter and I said, come and see this, come and see this. I've tried all of these stain removers, and all I did was use the 11.5 water. Look at it, the stain was gone. So being able to use it on your carpets, on my clothing, that saved me tons of money. And I'm going to tell you what was one of the amazing things for me, of course, as we went through this whole pandemic, and everybody could not find hand sanitizers and things like that. And knowing that the 2.5 water, I got that one right? That I can actually use that. It kills E. coli, Salmonella, MRSA, and something else. I can't think of the other one. E. coli, MRSA, Salmonella.
Well, basically any type of germs or pathogens that you get on a surface. I know the EPA came out with a report last year that there were certain types of viruses that they noticed and had brought attention to that the 2.5 killed. So just, you name it, if it's any type of germs, parasites, whatever, you just spray it on there and it's killed within 30 seconds.
So while people were freaking out about can't find hand sanitizer, I was fine. I had my stuff with me. I took that with me. If I went to restaurants, I sprayed on my forks and knives and utensils. I wiped down surfaces, and it was something that was completely natural. And I absolutely, absolutely love that. I'll tell you too, also, my daughter had pink eye. And I couldn't believe it. I thought she wasn't going to be able to go to school the next day. And I can't remember which one of the waters, if it was a 2.5.
2.5.
And I told her, look, just kind of put some of that in your eye. The next day we got up, it was completely gone. She was fine. I have so many testimonies, and I'm not trying to say, of course, I'm not trying to make any claims. All I'm giving you is my own personal experience. I've had situations with friends with strep throat, and I've told them to gargle with the water, and the strep throat, literally was gone. So I've got so many testimonies about this water. And of course, just you're being able to really eliminate, some people don't go to the bathroom a lot, not whether it's urine, and I'm not trying, but it's real, right? Because the water gets through my system, I'm going to the bathroom and going to the bathroom. And of course, my skin, the beauty water, I absolutely love to spray on your face. Absolutely. So I'll be 60 this year, Janine. So I'm getting there. And so I've been using that, and it's just, I love the beauty water. I actually love all, but of course, the drinking water has been absolutely amazing, to the point that it's hard for me to drink other water. I'm in Mexico right now, and I'm going to tell you the truth. My machine did not come in time for me to bring it with me to Mexico. I sent it out for cleaning. They assured me it was going to be back on time. And I am suffering because I'm drinking water. I'm getting bottled water here. I know bottled water is not good. I don't care if it's alkaline water in a bottle, but basically, it's not the same. And I cannot wait till someone comes and brings me. If you are coming to Mexico, could you hit me up? I need you to bring my machine. We'll ship it to you so you can bring it, okay? I need my machine, but I absolutely love the water. So I'm gonna so let me know whenever. I'll turn it back over to you, Janine.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you've had that wonderful experience. And that's one of the reasons I've been doing this since 2013, because in the past, when I've gotten involved in different businesses, not everybody likes what I sell. And not everybody gets benefit from it. And not everybody says, yes, it's amazing. With this machine, I can honestly say, without a shadow of a doubt, and being totally honest, no embellishments, no exaggerations, 100% of the people that I've shared this water with over the last 9 years has liked it, loved it, adored it, said it changed their life, or said something felt better in them, more energy, better sleep, whatever. I've never had somebody drink this water and say, I really didn't feel anything, no difference. Nobody has ever said that to me. And that's why I'm still with this company and will be till my last breath, because the products work. And what's so great about this, in the past, when I've been involved in businesses and I'm selling something that has to be repurchased, it's hard because times are hard, and especially with COVID and everything, people just don't have the finances. So when they were buying something from me, at some point, many of them would say, I love this product, but I can't afford these automatic shipments. I can't afford to spend this money every month. I'm spending a couple $100 a month on this. I'm just going to have to put it on hold. And most people that put it on hold and stop ordering, they never buy again. But with this product, once you buy it, you have it. And as long as your water is running from your sink, you have it. You don't have to rebuy anything. You don't have to buy automatic shipments of anything. You don't have to sign up and pay distributor fees, nothing. This is totally different than any other product. This is not a multi-level marketing. This is not a pyramid. This is direct selling. This is a product where you own it and all you do is share water with people. We're the only company in the world that will let you try our product before you have to buy it. And so that's another reason I love it. I can just share with people. And if it's for them, great. They buy a device. And if it's not, they say, no, not at this time, but maybe at a later date. And so there's so many positives for drinking this water. First, for your health. And then second, as you and I do, it can be a business for you. It can be a successful home-based business with no money put into it, because once you buy the device, you have it. Once you hook it up to your faucet, you have the water. So you don't have to buy things or do things. You don't have to have business cards. You don't have to have a website. All you need to do is have this, your running water, and a cup or a gallon jug, and you give water with people, and the water will slowly change their life. And then they say, hey, I want one too. And that's what it's all about. So I'd love for you to show this video. It's been circulating all over the world for many years, but I love it because I've known Pat Boone for 20 years, and I know he would never speak about something publicly unless he really, really believed in it. So that's why I love this video so much. So thank you so much for sharing this on your Facebook today.
Oh, no problem at all. So what we're going to do is share the video. Let's see. And let's see how that works. Let me get that up and running, guys, so you can see the actual video. Share screen. And I'm going to do this. And let me know if you can see it. Can you see it? Yes. There we go.
Hello friends, Pat Boone here. Over the years, I've been very fortunate to be able to travel all over the world. I've been to beautiful places. I've seen lots of amazing things. But when I was at home recently, an old friend called and said he wanted to show me a very interesting product that he thought I'd really like. Well, I told him to come on over. First, let me tell you, I get approached with products all the time. So I'm always skeptical, as many of the products are just not what they're cracked up to be. I've been very conservative over the years. Yep, that's right, conservative. But when I do find something I like, something I think can help millions of others, I speak up and help spread the word. And that's exactly what happened here. Now, I'm in pretty good shape. I work out daily. I watch what I eat. For years, I've been buying bottled water like so many. I carry it with me in the car, to the gym, to the office. So when he told me that the bottled water I was buying was actually very acidic and not as good for me as I thought, I was curious. I wanted to learn more. He told me about a machine from Japan that he had at his house and how it could change my tap water into really healthy, great tasting water filled with powerful antioxidants, and that a lot of people were feeling a lot better just by drinking different water. He said the machine actually changes the molecular structure of the water. Well, now I was starting to think he was full of it. I mean, water is just water, right? Well, it turns out that all water is not the same. We're finding that out more and more. This technology is used at hospitals, restaurants, and homes throughout Japan. In fact, this machine is classified a medical device in Japan, and it's manufactured in a certified factory. Now, I've traveled to Japan many times over the years, and I've always been very impressed with their culture, their family values, their ingenuity, and their health. Japan ranks right up there as one of the healthiest populations in the world, and they tend to live longer than we do. Here in the U.S., the adult population, and even more concerning to me, our children, are facing record amounts of obesity and related problems. The human body is made up of about 70% water. And doctors agree most of us just don't drink enough water. For a lot of people, the daily diet consists of fast food, processed food, and soft drinks. About the only time they drink water is to swallow their medication. So what's different in Japan? Well, many experts think diet and water play an important role. When I heard that this machine was from Japan, the company was over 30 years old, and the founder was an incredibly healthy, energetic visionary in his 60s, well, of course, I wanted to learn more. They shared stories about people with gout, people with diabetes, people suffering with acid reflux, and people who were losing weight by just drinking the water. Then I started thinking there are different grades of gas, different qualities of wine, so it was starting to make sense there could be different qualities of water as well, right? The bottled water industry has invested billions of dollars trying to convince us that their water is better than tap. The filter companies tell us that their filters can improve the taste of your tap water. The environmentalists tell us that the plastic water bottles are clogging our landfills. And other studies warn us that the plastic used in some of those bottles may be linked to cancer. It's confusing. So what do? Well, you try to keep an open mind. Like me, my friend stepped up and he put his money where my mouth was. He wanted me to try the water, and he said, just try the water, see for myself. What did I have to lose? It wasn't pills or potions or sugary drinks. It was just water. What if it could provide some relief and better health to lots of people just by changing the water they were drinking? Was that possible? Well, Stan also gave me this book to read. It was written by Dr. Hiromi Shinya, the world-renowned gastroenterologist. In case you don't know, a gastroenterologist is a doctor who specializes in the digestive system. Dr. Shinya has impeccable credentials. Each year, he spends 6 months in Japan and then 6 months in New York. For 45 years, he's treated kings, queens, presidents, celebrities, and thousands of other patients. He's chief of the surgical unit at Beth Israel Medical Center in New York City, and he's a clinical professor of surgery at Albert Einstein College of Medicine. He helped invent the colonoscopy, and he developed the technique for removing polyps during a colonoscopy without the need for abdominal surgery. It's actually called the Shinya method. Dr. Shinya has examined the stomachs and intestines of over 300,000 patients. He urges each of his patients to drink this special Kangen water every day, just like he does. And you can read all about it. I read this book cover to cover, and I learned so much. I was incredibly impressed with Dr. Shinya, and now I really wanted to try the water. So Stan hooked up a machine in my kitchen, and we've been drinking Kangen water ever since. Some people have asked, if the water is so special, why isn't it sold in stores? Well, there's a simple explanation. The special properties of the water only last about 3 days. After a couple of days, the oxidation reduction potential of the water has diminished. So to get the full benefit of this water, you really need to drink it fresh from the machine. Now, there's somebody here today to show you an eye-opening demonstration about the water we drink and this remarkable machine from Japan. His name is Bob Gridelli. Hey, Bobby. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Pat.
Why don't you take over?
Great, I will. So I want to welcome everybody, and I'm going to go into the demonstration here, and I'm going to show you the 3 unique properties of this water and why it's so very special. The first property I'm going to show you is what's called the ORP, which stands for the oxidation reduction potential. And we're going to show you that with a meter that shows whether a liquid has a positive ORP or a negative ORP. And if it has a positive ORP, that means it's bad for you, or it's oxidizing, or aging, or rusting. We all know what that is, right? And so if it has a negative ORP, that's what makes it a powerful antioxidant. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to pour some of these liquids first. And we're going to start with Dasani. And these are, we just put together an array of liquids that most people drink, right? Did you drink any of this? Dasani? How about Aquafina? Yes. I think I used to drink all of these. And how about Smart Water? Yes?
My holistic doctor did.
Your holistic doctor. Okay. I'll show you what I call it in a little bit. How about the Arrowhead sparkling water? Yes? Anyone like that water?
They have different flavors.
That's why I kind of like this, all the flavors. Actually, this was my favorite water. It's called Alive. In a second, you'll see what I call it. How about sports drinks, Gatorade? Yes, everybody like those? I used to drink a lot of sports drinks because, you know, you see athletes drinking it, so it must be good for us. How about sodas? Do any of you drink sodas? Okay, and this is just tap water. Anybody drink tap water? And then this is Kangen water. Okay, so this is the pinpoint ORP meter. Now we're going to test the ORP of the Dasani. So notice Dasani is over 215 right now. Now we go to the Aquafina. How's the Aquafina? Go over 220 and climbing. How about the Smart Water? Over 230 and climbing. How How about Arrowhead? Over 315 and climbing, getting worse. Alive water. This was one of my favorite ones. 400, now I call it dead water. How about Gatorade? Any of you drink Gatorade? Like 393 and climbing. So remember, the worse, the more positive it is, the worse it is. How about 7-Up? Now, all sodas are pretty much the same, just we use light colored. So you'll see 394 and climbing. How about the tap water? 325. Here's the star of the show, you guys. Look at negative what? Negative 400. Now negative 426. So as you can see, when it has a negative, this is the only water that has a negative. That's why they call it negative water in Japan. That's why they use it in hospitals over there, because all the positive ones are oxidizing, aging, rusting, bad, internally on the body. But the negative water is neutralizing the free radicals, so that's why we want to drink this water and hydrate your body on a regular basis. The next property I'm going to show you the water is, we're going to go over here and we're going to test these waters for the pH of the water. So pH stands for potential hydrogen. And we have a little chart here where I'm going to show you, and we're going to put a few drops in these waters. And we're going to show whether they are on the acidic side or the alkaline side. And we'll just put a couple drops in each one of them. We have a nice little pretty colorful display today, right? And we'll kind of stir these up real quick so you can get a better look, and then I'll show each one of them. Let's clean that off. Let's clean it off each time. Okay. So let's go start here with the Dasani water, and we'll use this pH chart here and show. So the Dasani is what? On the acidic side, right? How about the Aquafina? Also acidic. How about the Smart Water? A little better, but still acidic, right? How about the Arrowhead Sparkling? Oops. Very acidic. How about the Alive Water? That's why I call it dead water now. How about the Gatorade? Also very acidic. And how about the 7-Up? Bet you didn't know you were drinking so many acidic things, did you? How about tap water? So right around neutral, right? So tap water is always going to be neutral to slightly alkaline because it's federally regulated by the government. So besides, the chlorine, the fluorides, they put lye in the water, which is a pH of 14, very alkaline, to raise the pH of our city water, the tap water, because if it were acidic, it would rust the pipes. So I don't think they're concerned about our pipes. They're concerned about the city pipes. So that's why it's always going to be in that range. So let's move on to the Kangen water. Now here's the star of the show. What is the Kangen water? Very alkaline, right? So with a touch of a button, we can change the alkalinity, and this one is 9.5 pH. So we all know that we should be slightly alkaline, right? Our body, because we're over 75% water. Unfortunately, look what we're drinking today, and the foods we're eating, and the air we're breathing. And so when you drink this water on a regular basis, just think about your bodily fluids, right? Now watch what happens. What did we just do? Just with a little of the water, we neutralize that and raise the pH of the water. We'll go to the Aquafina. Notice. How about the Smart Water? Notice I'm just putting in a little bit, right? So imagine when you're drinking this on a regular basis, what happened to the Arrowhead water? It was struggling, and then it went right back to acidity. That's because it's very acidic. Notice the Alive water. No change. How about the Gatorade? Also no change. How about the 7-Up? So now we'll go over to the tap water. Notice it changed pretty easily, right? So Now, when you're drinking this water on a regular basis, that's what it's going to help your body to do to balance your pH. Now, I'm going to take the 7-Up here. Now, it's already diluted, right? Watch what happens. Now, think about you're drinking this on a regular basis. Watch what happens when we just add a little bit of that. Notice it takes it right back to an acidic state, just with a few drops. If you're drinking these things, ladies, and these are all pretty much in the same range, watch the Kangen water. Wow. We just destroyed the Kangen water with a little bit of diluted soda. If you're drinking sodas, this is right around the pH of about 2.5, which makes it about 50,000 times more acidic if you were starting over here at the neutral point. So that's how acidic it is. And I'm just going to show you real quick. This came from Wellness Magazine. And it says, what does it show the equivalent of soda is?
Battery.
It shows soda equals battery. Your battery in your car, the acid level of the battery in your car equivalent to soda. So imagine, if we want to stay on the alkaline side, you definitely don't want to drink anything like this, right? So as you can see now, that's the second property of the water that makes Kangen water so very special and why you want to be hydrating your body on a regular basis. So now I get to show you the third property of the water, which is microclustering of the molecules. And so regular water, like tap water, is about 15 to 20 molecule clusters, whereas Kangen water is about 4 to 6 clusters, so much smaller. And you're going to get to see a visual when I show you that with these green tea bags. So this is Yamamoto green tea. It's a tea that I like. And so we're going to go ahead and put one of these in here in the first cup. And what do you have to normally do to make tea? You have to heat the water. So we're going to take room temperature tap water. And notice what's happening. It's not making tea, is it? That's because you have to boil the water to make tea. So we're going to take another tea bag, and we're going to take the Kangen water. Notice what happens. What's happening to that tea bag? It's making tea instantly. Watch what happens when I go to pour again. Instant tea, right? The smaller molecules are penetrating the tea bag and drawing the tea out of the tea bag. Okay, let's take one. How about if we go back to tap water? No tea, right? So it's not a magic show, so you understand. It's just the molecules are too big to draw the tea out of there. We'll go back to Kangen water. Notice how it's drawing tea out of the tea bag. And notice this tea bag's still struggling over here, right? So let's take it back over here and let's see if we can get tea out of it. Notice instant tea with the Kangen water. So I think you can understand with the microclustering of the molecules being 4 to 6 clusters, much smaller, how it's drawing the tea out of the tea bag. Now imagine when you're drinking this water on a regular basis, it's hydrating the body better. This water will actually reach the brain in 60 seconds, every part of the skin in 10 minutes. It will penetrate the cells much easier, carry nutrients into the cells, and carry waste products out of the cells. So I think you can see that drinking Kangen water with the negative ORP, right, the alkalinity, and the microclustering of the molecules, this should be the water of choice for everybody to drink because it's far superior water and beneficial for the body. Now we're going to show you some other properties of the water that we can use for different purposes in your home. And what we're going to do is we're going to use some tomatoes here that I just got at the grocery store. So these are some Nature's Sweet tomatoes. And how do you normally clean your fruits and vegetables at home? You rinse them in the tap water, right? So we're going to take these Nature's Sweet tomatoes, and I'll try to pluck these out really quick. And you rinse them in the tap water, right? So we're just going to simulate that by pouring some tap water in here. You ladies didn't know you were going to do a little taste test today, did you? And we're going to take another bag of the Nature's Sweet tomatoes, and we're going to soak them in what's called strong Kangen water. And strong Kangen water is at a pH of about 11, 11.5. And the reason I put it in a black container is because 3 things affect the properties of the water. That is air, light, and movement. So we always store them in black containers when we make the water and we're going to use them. So we'll just soak some of the tomatoes with the 11.5 strong Kangen water. And while those are soaking, we'll let those sit there for just a minute. And we're going to take some, this is pure sesame oil. And we're going to take some sesame oil, and I'm going to show you while those are soaking what this water can do to the sesame oil. Now what happens, basic science, what happens when you mix water and oil?
They don't mix, they separate.
It doesn't mix, right? So notice how it's starting to separate. So watch when I take the same oil and put the strong Kangen water in there.
Oh, wow.
What just happened?
Emulsified.
It emulsified or it mixed the oil. So we're going to show you today with this water how you can use it for different purposes at home to clean your produce. You can also use it, put it in a black spray bottle like I do, and clean the house with it. So we're all concerned about the chemicals in our home, right? So we can now get rid of all those chemicals and make water that you can use as a degreaser, a cleaner, your 409, you can replace all of those. So let's go back to the tomatoes. How about that? So remember, these were soaking in the tap water and simulating how you clean them at home. And I'm just going to scoop them out of here and try not to make a mess. Okay. That's the tap water. We'll set them right there. And then we're going to do a little taste test. Are you ladies up for a taste test today? Okay, let's get I call these Kangen tomatoes. Now, notice the difference. So, you thought you cleaned your tomatoes in the tap water, right? But did you really?
No.
Notice what just came off the tomatoes.
Everything.
Herbicides, pesticides, oxidation, anything that's on the produce, because they use oil-based pesticides that don't wash off in the rain. So guess what? Regular water doesn't have the ability to take those off, but Kangen water has the ability to take them off, just like it broke down the oil over here. So let's go ahead and let's pass these around. We're going to go ahead and have each one of you grab one of the Kangen tomatoes, I call them. And let's do a little taste test. Those are kind of big, so you might not want to bite them in half. I would just bite the whole thing, or you might get tomato on you. And so we're going to let them try the Kangen tomatoes really quick. Hey, guys, I'm Italian, and I didn't used to like tomatoes. That's pretty sad, right? But guess what? I found out it wasn't the tomatoes I didn't like. It was what was on the tomatoes that I didn't like. So how's the tomatoes? Are they pretty sweet? Not too bad? Okay, great. So now we're going to go ahead and pass these around. And this is the tomatoes that how you normally clean them and how you normally eat them. And let's see if we notice a difference, or who can notice a difference in the taste. Oh, you got to get a picture of these faces. Look at the face. Look at the difference in the taste. So that now you understand why I didn't like tomatoes. Like I said, it wasn't the tomatoes I didn't like. It was what was on the tomatoes that I didn't like. Everyone notice the difference? Absolutely. The first one was much better. The first one tasted more like you got it out of the garden, right? And it was natural and no pesticides, and it was sweet. Even the texture's a little different. And the second one, you guys, because guess what? You were eating the tomatoes with this on there. And that will definitely affect the taste. And guess what? When you clean your produce with this Kangen water, the strong Kangen water, your produce will last a week or so longer. So one of the other benefits of this technology and the different waters that we can make that you can use in your home for different purposes. So now I'm going to show you the technology that makes the different waters that we showed you in the demonstration. And this is what's called the SD501, the Leveluck SD501. It's the top of the line unit that we have, and it's the gold standard in our industry. So with a touch of a button, I'll show you what we do. We simply hook this up to the sink right here. As you can see, the ordinary tap water coming out of here. And by diverting the water into the machine, as you can hear, it talks to you. So right now, that quick, we're making the water. I'm going to shut it off just so we can hear. So as you can hear, 8.5 pH, so that's the alkaline drinking water. 9.0. and 9.5. So we have 3 levels of drinking water, and you can start on the 8.5 for a week or so, and that way get used to the water, because remember, the water has the ability to cleanse and detoxify the body of acid waste and heavy metals, and therefore you want to start at 8.5 for a week or so, move up to the 9.0, and then end up at the 9.5 after a few weeks to a month. The next water I'm going to show you in this green section is 7.0. It's just neutral water, and it says clean water, and it's for taking medication. So when you're taking prescription medication, you want to use this water because remember the microcluster molecule is much smaller. So that water is going to make the medication absorb much faster or be twice as strong. So when you're taking medication, just use this water. And about 30 to 45 minutes later, you can go back to using the regular Kangen water. Now, when you're taking your nutritional products or natural products or green drinks, you definitely want to use the Kangen water because you want those to work much better, right? So you want those to be twice as strong and absorb much better. The next water.
Beauty water.
Beauty water. So everybody wants to look more beautiful, right? So you never have to buy toners again, because this water will rival your best toners that you buy in your department stores, $20, $30, $40 a bottle, $50 a bottle, because we simply change the pH of this water to about 5.5, and that's exactly what toners are, because it acts as an astringent to tighten, tone, and soften your skin. The next 2 waters. Strong acidic water. This is a water that's about 2.5 pH. And this water is very acidic. And how we make this water, by adding a salt solution that's being added to the tank as it's being electrically charged, the water. And that's how you make the strong acid water. And the benefit of that water is that water you use for sterilizing, for disinfecting. It will kill 99.9% of all bacteria within about 30 to 60 seconds. In hospitals in Japan, they use it for bed sores, cuts, burns, for skin problem, eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, any type of dry skin problem and infection, you know, something that might cause infection on the skin, use this water for. Matter of fact, I cut my thumb, stuck a knife through it, used that water, and it stopped bleeding right away. I never even had to go to the hospital, and it healed great. So many uses of that water. So when you're making this strong acid water, coming out here is the strong alkaline water, because we're separating the water. We have the strong acid water coming out this hose down here, the strong alkaline water coming out this hose, because remember that pH scale of 14? We're always splitting that. So if we're making 2.5, subtract that from 14, and that's what's coming out here is the 11.5 that we use for cleaning. All right? So those are the different waters that we make. So let me talk a little bit about the technology, and so you understand why this is the gold standard and why everybody compares themselves to Enagic. Because what's happening first, the water's first going through a double carbon antibacterial filter where it's filtering the water first. Then it's going through inside of here what we call the engine of this machine. I'm going to show you something that nobody else shows you, especially these other machines, the so-called competition on the market today. Right back here is what is the engine, and this is 7 large platinum-coated medical-grade titanium plates. And the water's passing through these plates, and it's being electrically charged with 230 watts of power. So the 2 most important parts of ionization are the size, surface area, and quality of these plates, and the electrical current that's happening to the water as it passes through the plates. So remember that, 2 most important qualities when you are looking at an ionizer. The next thing I'm going to show you, well, let's compare a few too. I'm just going to do this because they're never going to show you this. Some of the machines on the market today, the so-called competition, is not going to show you what the inside of their plates look like, because look at the difference. Look at that. And they call this competition? Look how small they are, you guys. These are so cheaply made. That's why none of the ionizers can really do what this does. And that's why, I'll tell you, there's one thing. The Association of Preventive Medicine for Adult Diseases in Japan, which represents 6,500 doctors, that's why they picked Enagic as the only ionizer that they will endorse. Now I think you get to understand why you don't want to go with anybody else, and this is the golden standard. One other thing I'll show you about what makes this the golden standard is we simply spin this filter off, and we have what's called a manual cleaning cartridge. No other ionizer has this on the market. And because what happens to all ionizers are they start to build up with the inside the plates, you'll get the scaling from the calcium that's in the water. And what happens to the other ionizers, they all have a self or automatic cleaning system. None of them are good enough to completely clean the machine. So we simply spin this off, put on our cleaning cartridge, and you can actually clean this machine anytime you want. So I use mine, more commercially because I give away a lot of water. So I put a cleaning cartridge on mine once a month. They recommend you do it every 3 to 6 months. So, but the fact is, we can clean this anytime we want. That's why this will last 15 to 20 years. 5-year warranty on everything. So I think you can see based on what I showed you today, and you'll understand why this is the gold standard in the industry. So what I would do is get back to the person who gave you this video, and they'll show you how you can get started and get one of these in your home so you can change your water and change your life.
Bobby, I really want to thank you.
We're going to stop it right there. We're going to stop it right there. And, what I did is I shared a link in the video on Facebook Live. If you look in the comments, you will see the link. So you're able to go back and rewatch the whole thing. Okay. Let me get back to where I was. So take it away, Janine. Is there anything that I think I stopped sharing?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
It's funny. I've been watching that video for many years, since 2013. And I'm watching it again. And it's like, I never get bored with it because it's so interesting to see how this technology works and to see what makes it work and be so effective for people. So I'm really glad that you wanted to share that today because it's a great video. And like I said, Pat doesn't promote anything he doesn't believe in. And it's funny, I was at an event in LA a couple years ago, Movie God Awards, and we both were, he was there as a presenter and I was there as a volunteer. And I saw him at the dinner table, and he loves his water. And I walked up to him and I said, "Is that Kangen water in your glass?" He goes, "No, I wish I had it because I don't have my machine with me." So I went back to my hotel room and came back and brought him down, because I always travel with my machine, and brought him down a little container of the water and said, "Here, this is just for you." And you should have seen his face light up because he said he'd been without the water for 2 days and he really felt it. Not everybody travels with their machine. I do. When I was in Mexico, I had my Kangen machine everywhere I went. So it's an amazing device. It's an amazing concept. There's an amazing compensation plan that goes with it, amazing results, and it will change your life. And it's free to try. So get back with Erica or reach out to me and we'll find a way to get you a sample. And you'll love it too, just like we do. And I thank you for having me on this today. And I really appreciate you sharing. You share with so many people, both your products with Wakana and with this. And I just want to thank you because, you're an amazing person and you spread joy and light wherever you go. And I love you dearly and can't wait to see you hopefully in Mexico because I'll be there next month.
Okay, awesome. And I want to just say this, Janine, because there's a lot of people, when I look at the money that I have spent on bottled water, and we all, if you add that up, how many thousands of dollars that you spent, and we're going to buy bottled water till we die. So when I compared what I was spending on bottled water versus what I have to spend for this machine and all of the uses of this water, right? Money I can save on cleaning supplies, hand sanitizers, all the other things, beauty products, even though we also have great beauty products with Wakana. But as you said, I wanted to share this. Reason I'm sharing this with my network is because we are talking about the importance of alkaline water. And people are asking constantly for recommendations on alkaline water. And yes, people are running out and getting the bottled alkaline water, and they're not realizing, even if you test that water, it's testing acidic. So if it's sitting in any water that sits for a long time, anywhere, it's going to be acidic. So you're spending extra money to buy what you think is alkaline water, and it's not really alkaline when you get home and test it. I have tested it. Go ahead if you want to say something about that.
Well, when you mentioned alkaline, this is not alkaline water. This is alkalized because of the process that it goes through in order to be alkalized. And what people don't realize is when they buy alkaline water, it's alkaline when they buy it. because magnesium potassium drops are put in all these bottled waters that you buy. So when you open it, you pour it in a glass, it's 9.5, and you drink it, and it's out in the open as the air hits it. Within minutes, usually 10 to 15 minutes, the alkalinity dissipates because the oxygen causes it to go away. And for any of you people that are watching this, say, I don't believe that for 1 second, get a glass of your bottled water and put a straw in it. Get a glass of Kangen water and put a straw in it. You put the pH drops in each, both are going to be purple because both are alkaline. Start blowing in the glass of your water, and within 30 seconds, it's going to turn acidic because that oxygen has turned it into acid. Keep blowing in the Kangen glass, and you'll blow till the cows come home because it'll stay purple because it lasts, and oxygen doesn't affect it in that way. It holds its alkalinity, which makes it alkalized. So, and that's the ionization process that makes it alkalized versus alkaline. And what you're buying in the store is alkaline, and what we have here is alkalized.
And on that note, guys, we're going to end this. We don't want to be long. We thank you for listening. We thank you for being here. Save yourself some money. Save your health. Again, if you want a sample, please give us contact Janine. Let her know that you saw this live, and we'll get you out some samples. And you remember, when you add up all the money you're spending on bottled water, things to clean your home, hand sanitizers, all the things that this machine will replace, it's thousands and thousands of dollars. So you have in your machine, we have inflation going through the roof, prices of everything going through the roof. They're limiting how much water you can get in Walmart. You have your own machine attached to your sink, produces water that you know is the best grade water ever. So thank you so much for listening, you guys. Thank you, Janine, for your time. You're the absolute best. And I want you to tell them about the events that you do that talks about cancer, and maybe, they can, attend some of your events that you do. Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a cancer Facebook page. It's called Conquering Cancer and Preventing It. And you just Facebook me and ask to be a friend, and then I can add you to the group. I also have a monthly call, which I'm actually having tomorrow night, first Wednesday of every month. It's at 8:00 Eastern time. And it's just a call for people with cancer or people that know someone with cancer. It's informational. Sometimes I have guest speakers. We talk about whatever you want to talk about. People ask questions, and I try to give them the answers if I have it. If I don't have the answer, then I go find it for them. And it's just a good opportunity. And on my Facebook, when I'm at events speaking to women with cancer or men and women with cancer, it's been amazing how many more men that I've met in the last few years since I was at Hope for Cancer that have prostate cancer. And so men are really, there are a lot more men now are getting cancer than ever before. So I'm always involved, and just follow me on Facebook and you can see all the stuff that I do. And again, I thank you for having me and for wanting to educate the world on good hydration and great products, because you surround yourself with great products, which is why you look as great as you do and feel as great as you do. So that's a testament.
Thank you, Janine. Okay, awesome, guys. Thank you so much. We will put the link to Janine's event for tomorrow. Janine, you just send me the flyer, and I'll put it in this thing. And thank you, guys. I'm stopping the share now, and we will see you soon. Please ask to join the CBD Bosses if you're interested in getting information about CBD. And I have a page called Alkalized Water for Life on Facebook if you want a little bit more information as well. If you contact Janine, please let her know that you found out about her through this broadcast. Thank you so much.